times A, H, and K, everything you need for vertex form. That's not true of any of the other forms. All of these different equations have a parabola as their graph. Parabolas tell you three things usually. It tells you where the vertex is, and it tells you the roots. Okay? The parabola can be facing up or facing down. It cannot face sideways. All right. Equation. Yes?
Is it okay if we put our own numbers in there?
You want to have a general thing so that you can use it on a test. If you have examples, you won't be able to use it on the test. So I would have what I have down. Okay. Equation. The equation we start with for vertex form is y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. What I'm going to do here is write out general steps of how to solve for the roots. My first step is to change y from y to 0. So set the whole thing equal to 0. My next step is to subtract k from both sides. So I get negative k equals a times x minus h squared. My next step is to divide by a. So I get negative k over a equals x minus h squared. My next step is to take the square root and get the square root of negative k over a equals x minus h. Remember, we're not going to yell things out.
You're not supposed to square root.
So you can square root, it's fine. Maybe a was negative, maybe k was positive. If it is, end up with a negative answer, that is correct. You'd have no real roots at this point. Okay, now we're going to add h to both sides. Remember that when you square root something, you have the positive answer and the negative answer. That's what the positive over the negative means. It means you've got two answers. And that's how you find your roots. That is the equation form. Now I'm going to go over and do the word form of how we do this. I'm going to write it out in words. Okay? First step, set equal to 0. Second step, subtract k. Third step, divide by a. Fourth step, square root. Fifth step, add h. Okay? Now if we were to graph, our sixth step would be plot opposite h and k. And our seventh step would be plot the roots. And that's it for vertex form. Yes, Jamin?
My place is I put make a teacher.
You don't need to do that for a vertex. That is a different way of finding it, but now that we know how to find the roots, we don't have to make a t-chart anymore. And it's actually less steps to not have to make the t-chart. Sayla, did you have another question? Okay. Yes. Okay. I will come back to this if we need to, but we're going to move on to the next one. I will go through them all again if you need to see them. Okay. We are on, so move on for now. Remember where you are if you're missed something, and we'll come back. Okay. So again, we've got the table. We've got x and y. We know we've got the vertex if it's the same y on each side. Okay? We can't find any other letters doing this like we could find for vertex 4. Graph. The thing that is special about ax squared plus bx is we know one of the roots is always 0. One of the roots is always 0. So it could be upside down, it could be right side up, but I know that it's going to cross on 0 at some point. So I've got the roots, and I've got the vertex. Okay, let's look at how we solve this equation. We've got y equals ax squared plus bx. The first step for all of these is to change y to 0. Set the equation equal to 0. Does anybody know what the next step? This one's a little bit tricky. Can anybody tell me what the next step for this one is? Aaron?
Boxing.
Nope. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Take A out.
Not A, but X. We're going to take X out. We're going to factor X out. So we took an X from each one.
Wait.
So here is an example problem on the board that I think might be helpful with actual numbers. Do you see how we have 6x squared minus 9x? Okay, this is just the equation. I'm just giving you a random problem. So if I took an x out, this is already in my box. This is what I want. To factor it, x times what gives me 6x squared? Well, 6x. X times what gives me negative x? Negative 9x. Negative 9. So my two factors are x times 6x minus 9. It's like the opposite of distributing. We pulled out an x. Yes, Jude?
I thought like when you got like the third one, I thought you had to flip those. Like you see where it says 0 equals x.
Yeah, you can
times
say
6.
x equals 0. It's the same thing.
No, I thought it was. Okay. Yeah, that one. I thought it was 6x. Parentheses would be x minus 9. That's what I thought. I thought you put the 6 in front of the x.
No. If they have something, if 6 and 9 both have something in common, you could pull it out, which they have 3. But if you just pull out an x, you'll still get the same answer. But 6 does not go into 9 evenly. So that's why you can't put the 6 out here. Okay. All right. So now I set each one equal to 0. Someday my handwriting is going to turn beautiful all by itself. Okay. Yeah, yours too, great. All right, so we've got x equals 0. One of our answers is done. For the other one, we've got to subtract b from both sides. We get negative b equals ax. Then we are going to divide both sides by a. And we get negative b over a equals x. Now we're going to write out the steps. Step 1, set equal to 0. Step 2, pull out an x. Step 3, set both equal to 0. Step 4, subtract b. Step 5, divide a. All right, what if we wanted to find the vertex? What would you do? Two different ways. Yes, Corey? Okay, we can do that one. So we do negative b over 2a equals x value of vertex. Step 7, plug in x value of vertex. Into original. Did I spell original right?
Yes.
Thank
no.
you.
No. No.
How is it spelled?
Yes, you did.
O-R-I G-I-N-A-L?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
It doesn't.
My handwriting doesn't look like this? Okay. I know, hold on. Okay, and step 8, plot vertex and roots. I'm just going to give you another second and then I'm going to move on, but I will put these all up again. Give you them. Remember, it's a really good idea to write all these down. It is helpful for when you take the test or quiz or retake. Guys, I know you're starting to get restless, but we only have one more to do, and then I will give you an activity where you can talk.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to do standard form ax squared plus bx plus c. So again, same thing for the table. Okay? Graph, yes?
This time I've made a box.
Yes. Good. The graph. We've got, again, we know where the roots are. They cross the x-axis. We know we've got the vertex. Okay. Ready? We're going to solve this equation. Our equation is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Then we set it equal to 0. Then we make the box. We know ax squared goes here. We know c goes here. We know ax is on one side, x is on the other. We know this is ex and fx, and they must add together to give me bx. So we have 0 equals ax plus e times x plus f. I am just making those letters up. Okay. Then you set each one equal to 0. Not the whole alphabet. Only through f. Okay, and then I'm going to subtract e from both sides. Divide by a. I'm going to subtract f from both sides. Negative f equals x. The two roots. All right. Ready for the words? For the steps?
Hold up.
Okay. Step 1. Set equal to 0. 2. Make box. 3. Solve for x, we'll say. You guys know how to do that part. Step 4. How are we going to find the vertex? For this one, let's say we add roots, divide by 2 equals x value of vertex. How do we find the y value? Yep. Plug x value into original equation, which equals y value of vertex. And finally, my last step, if I'm going to graph, plot vertex and roots.